Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. In this session, we will be discussing from the 24th verse of the 17th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Tapas shaucham daya satyam iti pada krite kritaha adharmam shais trayo bhagna smaya sanga madaistava. The meaning of this verse is, in the age of Satya, truthfulness, your four legs were established by the four principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy and truthfulness. But it appears that three of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for women and intoxication. So, Parikshit Maharaj is speaking to the personality of religious principles, Dharma, the bull, in the shape of the bow. That Dharma, in the beginning of the cycle of four yugas, in Satya Yuga, was established on four legs, four pillars of Dharma. What are they? Austerity, cleanliness, mercy and truthfulness. Tapaha, Shaucham, Daya, Satyam. Tapa means austerity, Shaucham means cleanliness, Daya means mercy, Satyam means truthfulness. But by the time the ages rotate, time passes by, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. So from Satya Yuga to Treta Yuga, one of the legs is broken. Then from Treta Yuga to Dwapar Yuga, the transition, one more leg is broken. And from Dwapar Yuga to Kali Yuga, yet one more pillar of religion is broken. So in Kali Yuga, at the beginning of Kali Yuga, Dharma is left with only one principle, that is truthfulness. The other three principles, austerity, cleanliness and mercy, are broken. Now, how are they broken? It is described here. They are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for women and intoxication. So, Prabhupada explains this in the purport very nicely. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, the deluding energy or material nature can act upon the living beings proportionately in terms of the living beings falling prey to the deluding attraction of Maya. We are in the material world, the material energy, Maya is acting. But Maya's action or influence is possible only if we become attracted by Maya's allurements to engage in sinful activities. Otherwise, if we refrain from sinful activities, particularly in Kali Yuga, four kinds of sinful activities. Intoxication, meat eating, illicit sex and gambling. If we refrain from these four pillars of sinful life, then we can remain aloof from the influence of Maya. So that will be explained now by Srila Prabhupada, little more detail. Prabhupada says, there's a standard example given in the scriptures. Moths are captivated by the glaring brightness of light, and thus they become prey to the fire. Similarly, the deluding energy means the energy which influences us to become illusioned, is always captivating the conditioned souls to become prey to the fire of delusion. And the various scriptures warn the conditioned souls not to become prey to delusion, but to get rid of it. Don't get attracted by some illusion, illusory energies, display of some opportunity for enjoyment in sinful ways. Don't get captivated. The Vedas warn us not to go to the darkness of ignorance, but to the progressive path of light. Tamasoma Jyotirgama. Tamasoma. Don't remain in darkness, or don't go more into darkness. Come out of darkness and go towards light. The Lord Himself also warns that the deluding power of material energy is too powerful to overcome. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mamamaya Duratyaya. It's too powerful. Duratyaya. But one who completely surrenders unto the Lord can easily do so, can easily actually overcome. Mameva ye prapadyante mayametam tarantite. But to surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is also not very easy. Such surrender is possible by persons of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. So on the one side are four pillars of sinful life: the deluding energy, the illusory energy is attracting the conditioned souls. Come, enjoy in sinful ways. Other side are the four pillars of religion, religious principles. Now, simply avoiding sinful activities alone does not enable a person to surrender to Krishna. That is required. In addition to avoiding sinful activities, one has to practice the principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. Then it is possible to surrender to Krishna. And by surrendering to Krishna, one can overcome the influence of the illusory energy completely. These four principles of advanced civilization were remarkable features in the age of Satya, the first age in the cycle of four yugas, Satya Yuga. In that age, every human being was practically a qualified Brahmana of the highest order. And in the social orders of life, they were all Paramahamsas, or the topmost in the renounced order. All human beings were of the topmost class in the Satya Yuga. By cultural standing, the human beings were not at all subjected to deluding energy. They were not affected by Maya in Satya Yuga. All the human beings. Such strong men of character were competent enough to get away from the clutches of Maya. But gradually, as the principles of Brahmanical culture, what are the principles of Brahmanical culture? Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, truthfulness. Austerity is tapa, shaucham. Tapa is austerity, shaucham is cleanliness, daya is mercy, satyam is truthfulness. As these principles became curtailed by proportionate development of pride, attachment for women, and intoxication, the path of salvation or the path of transcendental bliss retreated far, far away from human society. With the progression of the age of Kali, people are becoming very proud. They are becoming too much attached to women. Women means, I'll explain this, okay, and intoxication. Here women means objects of enjoyment, especially objects of sex pleasure. This characteristic of Kali Yuga. People are more and more after sex pleasure. and they are very easily become attached and attracted and hence attached to enjoyment with the member of the opposite sex, whether women or men. Women are attracted to men and men are attracted to women for sex pleasure. This is the characteristic of Kali Yuga. By the influence of the age of Kali, Srila Prabhupada explains further, even a pauper is proud of his penny. As far as pride is concerned, there is no reason to be proud for a person who has very, very, very little money in his possession. But even the poorest of poor fellow, if he gets some money, little, few rupees, let's say nowadays, few rupees, he is very proud. Oh, I have so much wealth. I'm a very rich person. He thinks like that. He becomes proud. The women are always dressed in an overly attractive fashion to victimize the minds of men. You see, the dressing fashion of the women in Kali Yuga, simply to attract men for sex enjoyment, they dress in a very bad way. And the man is addicted to drinking wine, smoking, drinking tea, chewing tobacco, etc. All varieties of intoxication. All these habits or so-called advancement of civilization are the root causes of all irreligiosities. And therefore, it is not possible to check corruption, bribery and nepotism. A lot of people talk about too much corruption, too much corruption. How to root out this corruption? So the root cause of corruption is being pointed out here. What is it? All these irreligiosities. If people are addicted to intoxication, they are addicted to sex pleasures, they are addicted to more and more possessions, greed for possessions, because of which they become overly proud of possessing many things, then it is not possible to avoid corruption. Man cannot check all these evils simply by statutory acts and police vigilance. But he can cure the disease of the mind by the proper medicine. It's actually a disease which is within the mind. This propensity for enjoyment by sinful activities is a disease of the mind. And what is a cure for this? The proper medicine for this disease of the mind. It is the principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy and truthfulness which have to be followed by people in order to cure the mind of these propensities for sinful enjoyment. Modern civilization and economic development are creating a new situation of poverty and scarcity with the result of blackmailing the consumer's commodities. We can see that so many goods are produced, but they are not growing grains. So many factories for manufacturing so many unnecessary things, anartha. But the most essential commodities, especially grains, fruits, vegetables, which is required for even survival of the human beings and the animals, that is not being produced enough. This is the influence of Kali Yuga. So Prabhupada advocates, it's a very long purport. We will discuss this more in the next session. I will stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.